do we expect here?
Yeah, quickly hopping over. I mean, we do not have any bans yet, but looking at the bans and picks in the game before, any thoughts what they should ban or what they should pick on your side, Tasty?
I'm not really sure. I mean, that was such an unconventional game that there
Yeah.
wasn't really, anything that was like, oh, you need to ban this away because there's so much, like the jewel, you can just counterpick that in lane. There's ways to play around it. Like there wasn't any. The jewel was probably the most effective hero picked for Angry Pandas, but it's not one that I feel was strong enough to be a must ban because I do feel like they can play around it. It's just the strategy as a whole needs to change for Red there. They were just, I mean, they started off so strong. They got 3 kills right off the bat within the first, 4 minutes or so, and then just played very safe and very defensive from that point on. And Angry Panda just completely took advantage of it.
Alright, so let's see, since Red is now changing the roster, and of course Ref needs to add us.
Very interesting that they are now bringing in Ref, and Rocco is getting kicked, I believe. So MIQ back. We do have Ref 29. Not sure if he's called Ref 29 or just Ref in the tournament environment. It's going to be interesting what they are picking. I mean, the Celeste Vox Adagio, interesting. Not sure if very serious somehow. It felt like a testing, or maybe something they acknowledged in 1.8 working very well for them. Somehow it did not. They had no, like, they tried to play it very aggressive, as we know, Red, and as we know a lot of the very at least Western high-skilled teams, that they like to play it very aggressive, especially early game. But somehow they had no follow-up mostly. It's also caused by, I believe, at least, by the weapon box.
Okay. So I think we will see strong support from MYQ as usual.
Yes.
And let's see, we have Ilohak, he will go jungle carry, and then we will have Ref 29, I think he's going lane.
Do you think so? Ref
Yeah.
is Ref usually laning or jungling? I'm not sure about that actually. I know that he's also playing a perfect jewel, perfect crit jewel, if I remember that right. But also probably very versatile. But yeah, MIQ most likely going to play the support and being the rock, trying to guide his team through, and maybe grant some vision as well. We'll see about that. And yeah, I hope they start banning and picking. Everyone is in. The 5 minutes should have been over as well. Okay,
so MYQ is not playing.
Oh, he's not playing, he's just
Nope.
organizing?
Yeah, seems like he was kind of organizing, and now he says invite Rocco as. So he's going to leave, and that's interesting. So the bans have not been made, and if there is questions, of course, in the chat, if there are questions in the chat, you can change the roster before or in between the matches, but only before the bans have been made. So if you ask, or if you say we are going to change the roster, then of course we will wait with the bans at the draft mode, and when everything is fine, we are going to execute this process. Okay.
So Waldemar is not playing. A lot of discussion is going on also in the Twitch chat about if Waldemar is best Celeste or not. We can't really know that, and we don't really, well, we don't have any informations or proof of it, but at least we heard from a couple of sources that he is actually now playing under this nick.
Okay, they tried to ban blueberries.
That is not working.
No, that's not a valid pick, or a valid ban either.
Well, you can't pick blueberries.
Scarf is the ban.
Scarf. Okay, let's move on. There we go. Do get a scarf ban by the Angry Pandas. So, are you disappointed by seeing Red playing the first time Tasty Bacon, and then like not bringing the this performance we are like hyping up?
A little bit, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, just the overall play style was just so passive, and it really didn't work out. Even like I don't feel like that's the most effective way to play from behind. The fact that they were just sitting in their base and even throwing ultimates just to try and check where Angry Pandas was, like I don't know, it's just it was very underwhelming.
Yeah. So we are waiting for the ban of Team Red.
There it is. It is Rona.
Okay.
Interesting. So banning that Rona away, somehow people, at least in the later parts of 1.8 meta, a lot of people started playing a hell lot of Rona and a hell lot of strong Ronas.
Okay, Vox is the first pick from Angry Pandas. No chance here for Ilohak at least to play Vox again, since they are picking it here away from Red.
I totally like what Blueberries just did out of Angry Pandas. He just called them and said, "Angry black-eyed things, please pick."
Why do you have to say that when I write in this chat?
Because it's very funny, actually.
But that's not supposed to be like talked about.
Why?
Never mind. Celeste and Catherine.
I think it's funny.
Celeste and Catherine are here the picks for Red Prometheus, or Prometheus as we say in German, so I stick to that one. But I think in English, Tasty Bacon was pretty right there. Prometheus? No, that was wrong, right? Sorry. You have to teach me. What is spelled in English?
Teach us, senpai.
Which one was it? Sorry.
Red Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Oh, fancy.
So
yeah,
so
right, easy, right?
Both of the E's, of the E's are the elongated E sound on those.
All right.
So
never spoke that word in English, so apologize for that. But I stick to Prometheus. Prometheus. That's pretty hard in German. So Celeste and Catherine, we got the picks here, and I think Celeste is a solid pick, and Ilohak might go for that one. The Catherine pick. Ref? Is he support? Is he lane? I don't know, John.
If he's jungling or laning?
Yeah, like who's picking Catherine?
Well, Catherine is most likely, I would say, going to be played by Rocco. See Freddy.
Okay.
We actually did not get any informations about the team, if they are playing or who is playing more lane, who's playing more jungle, and who's playing more roam. But I would see Ilohak and Raf29 getting the carry roles.
All right. Okay, waiting for Angry Pandas here to continue their choice. And let's see who is rounding up the roster for the Angry... It's Pandas. It's Pandas without it.
Oh, how did that error get in?
I don't know, I just saw that and I was like, well, what? Pandas. That's also good. Never mind. Taka, Arden, and Raf immediately answered with Jewel. So, what do we all say to that comp?
I like it. I like the Jewel. I hope Raf is going to play it. The other side, Vox, probably this time Crystal, with weapon Taka can get very helpful for Celeste. If Celeste is not playing that very good, Red could get kicked here.
It's possible, but I mean, Jewel plus Celeste is also super strong, you know, because it's really hard to catch them off. They have triple stun, whereas the other team only has one stun, you know. So it's hard for me to tell. So, Tasty Bacon, my question to you: do you think the crown champion is on the way to be kicked out, or do you think we will see a comeback in the third match?
It's tough for me to say because that was the first game I had seen from Red, and so this is. I'm very happy to see much more standard compositions from both teams here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this will be a much better gauge of the abilities of both teams. So it's gonna obviously not so much depend on the early game. The mid game is going to be the big focus for me here. because obviously we saw the early game went heavily in favor of Red previously, but then the mid game just completely taken over by Angry Pandas. So we'll have to see how things go this time around. I mean, it very well could be Red being knocked out.
All right, let's jump into the fold in a second, and then let's watch the second match.
Shatter the Vain, a podcast about vainglory.
There we go, second match of the third of the night. It's a third matchup, if I'm right. Yeah, Team Queens and Team Kings are eliminated. Gamers 2 is facing... I forgot. Who are they facing? Alliance! That good matchup will happen tomorrow. But first of all, we are watching here the third quarterfinals of the night. Red Prometheus, something like that. I will forget about that. And it's a horrible word for not native speakers, but never mind. The question is, can Angry Pandas kick them out super fast here in a 2-0, or can they not? So let's have a look at the item builds here. Elohak is going for a very early double crystal bit. Of course, here nothing too spectacular. Ref is going for Book of Eulogies. That's interesting. Going for, I haven't seen that for a while since, well, Weapon Blade, yeah, maybe also Swift Shooter, but not that often. I think more the start of a Weapon Blade. But nice to see that one here, a bit of poke.
I mean, I'm not very surprised to see the Book of Eulogies if you are going to be starting with the Jewel in the lane, just because it's pretty standard actually for melee laners to start with the Book of Eulogies to get that sustain to stay in lane. What I am surprised about is that they're having Jewel in the lane with the Celeste in the jungle as there's a skirmish going on in the bottom.
Yeah, there comes the 3 versus 2 and they are going for Elohak. Rocco S here is the tank. Ref now joining, a lot of damage reflection, plus I think the Thunder Strike hit Tony Lo in the end. Kaku out. Oh, he's going for the other side, getting revealed by a Scout Trap. No! That was such a good plan from Tony Lo. And now he has the problematic situation. 1 second cooldown. He can escape, I think. Jumping over. Well done and dodging that Thunder Strike. Wow.
Yeah, very close with that, the Rocket Leap landing directly on his head. But of course, the Kaku, a lot of people really hate that ability for just that reason right there. Allowing him to escape what on any other hero would have been certain death. But good job by Angry Pandas avoiding a disastrous early game and instead keeping it relatively even.
So let's see if the roster change is going to be the better decision. Tony Lo, oh, he's falling to the flare. Well done here. I think Rocco S most likely having that one in the inventory. And that was well done. Picking up the first blood.
Yep, so Red once again getting the first blood. Of course, we also saw how that ended last game, so not a decisive factor by any stretch in Vainglory, but definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. Is if they can continue this. I'm so surprised to see the Celeste in the jungle. I don't think I've ever actually seen that before.
Yeah.
I think the closest I saw to it was a team started it at level 1, but then like by level 2 or 3 they swapped back. But they're fully committing. This is Celeste in the jungle, and it's working pretty well. Already 24 CS, almost keeping up with the laners, being about 10 CS behind them.
Alright, Tony Lo here popping up that Skull Trap, and Raf 29 here almost hitting any Thunder Strike, putting Layer back to the base. Well done here. Heavy, of course, here with the heavy steel, Book of Eulogy, 6 cents. That hurts if you get hit now. And he's on 37 while Layer is on 32. Rocco S coming from the bottom. Tony Lo going for damage on Ref 29, baiting everyone to the right, going back to the left. at least he could get them away.
Yeah, avoiding death once again, and just can continue farming up for both teams. It's feeling almost eerily similar to the first game. There's not a whole lot of aggression really coming out from Red or Angry Pandas for that matter. And I mean, they're both pretty strong scaling into the late game, but I do feel like with the Taka and the Vox that Angry Panda should be looking to be a little bit more aggressive, because Jewel isn't the strongest early on. You know, the Thunder Strikes aren't critting people for, you know, a quarter to half their health. But Goldmine just picked up for free, and they have the team split.
Yeah, going for Leia here. Swan can't do anything besides hide in that pit. Now he can go back, but I think that's a deadly spot. And he might fall here, even the Vanguard. Oh, that one hit, but Raph coming from the top, picking up the kill.
Yeah, that was just a really bad positional error there by Juan, especially once the fight sort of started to dissipate and nothing was really going to happen. Should have instantly ran into the enemy jungle to try and recall. Instead, hung out in that goldmine pit and was really just an easy pickings there for Red to pick up. So definitely a bit of an error mistake by Juan. Hopefully he doesn't repeat that, or it could end up being a long game for Angry Pandas.
But also very interesting to see actually that Swan played a very good Jewel, and then swapping from that super carry aggressive role to a supportive Arden. Pretty interesting. And then plus the roster change of Team Red. Of course you're allowed to do this step. Unless there were bans made, then you are not allowed. But since they declared it directly at the beginning, everything's fine. Next fight coming up.
Yep, big fight in the lane. All three members from each team. Juan going very low. The big red button coming out, not doing a whole lot, just kind of clipping Leia and Tony Luo a little bit. And in the end, everyone backing off. It was both Juan and Ilohuak getting dropped pretty darn low, but both of them able to escape with their lives intact.
Yeah, once again, welcome. I think we got 2,000 viewers, at least on that. Here it says, welcome to Vainglory League. This is the esports for Vainglory. It's the MOBA perfected for touch. If you don't know what that is, then look at that beautiful map. This is running 60 frames per second on almost all devices, either Android or iOS. And since the new patch 1.9 just doubled the Android devices where it's able to run. If you don't know the game, just check it out. Google Play Store, Apple Store. It's very fun to play, and those guys are playing for 15,000 US dollars here in total. 7.5 per region. And there is the Blast Tremor. I think their snipe might kill here. Yes! What ultimate here, the Solar Storm coming in from Ilohak. Tony Lu in the meantime jungling on the enemy side.
Yeah, great Solar Storm to pick up that kill, and this is kind of what I was expecting from Red, given their #1 seed and how much they were talked up, picking up a kill and immediately making a push onto that turret, getting some solid damage down, and not giving up the advantage that they picked up early on. Love to see if they can continue to do so. Tony Luau doing a good job of just getting farm where he can, making aggressive plays. Will he get caught here though? The Heliogenesis just misses, and he gets out before the auto attack. Now we get to watch that auto attack slowly traverse all the way across the map. Oh, it fizzles out just past the...
Alright.
I was really hoping it would continue on all the way across and just hit him at the very end of it.
Yeah, I was waiting with the camera angle on Taka to see it coming, but never did.
Very close escape though. I mean, that takes some courage to stand there after the Heliogenesis lands just next to you to continue to stand there and finish the recall.
Yeah. exactly. Definitely a risky move. Could have died here. But the gold miner is the much more important thing to face now for Angry Pandas. Let's see, gold miner is on the minion candy as far as I could see it. Or yes, he is still. Thunderstrike on the Swan. Swan, another Heliogenesis. Oh, Rocco S here. There comes the Vanguard on Leia and the Rocket Leap not hitting exactly. There comes the Blast Tremor plus the wait for it. They are trapped everywhere. This can end for both teams badly, but it does end badly for Angry Pandas. R3D Prometheus here picking up all kills and Celeste with the triple kill for an ace.
Yeah, very, very close fight. So, you know, it's definitely still not the end of the world for Angry Pandas there. Of course, even if they go on to lose this game, we will have a third. But that fight was so incredibly close that if they could get a fight in a spot where it's not, you know, a forced straight line, they could very easily have won that. I mean, the fact that they were just in a straight line made the Solar Storm snipe ult from Celeste, it went through and just absolutely cleaned house. So there's a little bit better positioning on the fights. They don't want to go in straight lines. Your Big Red Button, Solar Storm, both big straight line ultimates. So we'll have to see. Here's another fight going in. Huge damage coming out from Raph, jumping in and picking up the first kill. That is not what Angry Pandas want. Big Red Button to secure the second. Are they going to go in for Leia on the third? They get a lot of damage. Rocco will just barely not fall to the turret. And it is going to be Ilo Huag picking up the third kill there for the ace. And all of a sudden, R3D Prometheus looking significantly stronger. Like almost the entire polar opposite team coming out this time around.
Wow. That is ridiculous what's going on here. So most likely we are seeing a third match unless Team Angry Pandas is going to find something which works well against that comp, since they had a good shot in the first match, rolling over R3D Prometheus, but in the second one they are having the upper hand. So next fight coming up, Swan coming from the bottom. Should Vanguard to Leia though, getting stunned. Oh, that is deadly. I don't know what happened there, but that was definitely a misplay and should not have been planned. Either go over the wall or just back up to the bottom.
Yeah, it really does seem like Red just flipped a switch. Oh my goodness, huge damage. And then the snipe from over the wall getting the kill there. And this game is not going to be lasting too much longer. This is a massive, massive lead. 8,000 gold, almost doubling the gold of Angry Pandas. 11-0, looking to get a perfect game out of this one. R3D Prometheus, what happened? I mean, what happened to Angry Pandas? This is...
Yeah,
it's bizarre how different this game is.
Exactly. So Raf29, we know him from past VGL events. He's a super good, skilled guy from Germany. Also super young, and also one of the guys who is actually or was a subscriber from Donjon's YouTube channel, and then came to this game through that way. Very interesting, and then is now playing for one of the top teams in Europe, maybe the top team here. And definitely shows off some great skill here, being 3-0-6.
Yeah, and this is another push coming in. Taka is nowhere near the team. He's going to have to recall soon. Otherwise, they're just going to shove right into these turrets. The recall spam from Juan just making it look nice as they recall, as they move back into their base.
Yeah, trying to defend somehow. I think Tony Luke could have gone for the gold miner since there was time. Now there isn't.
A nice job by Angry Pandas, able to defend that minion wave. But here comes the next one, and Tony Luo is still not in the base. They're gonna just lose a turret here in this 3-on-2, and now they might lose the fight as Leia is going to get absolutely demolished there. And now it's another 3-on-2, this time because of a death.
Yeah. good job here from Rat, coming back totally different with a double the gold amount after 14.5 minutes. And that is definitely the game here. Nothing to do from Angry Pandas. This is the second matchup of the night, where we will see a third match. And very interesting, since the third match means no bans, no picks, no draft. Of course, the picks, but blind pick. And that will be it.
Yeah,
Finishing left.
another ace coming through from Red Prometheus, 15-0. A nightmare on this Celeste, 10-0-5. What a difference a game makes. I mean, it's just, I'm absolutely speechless.
Yeah. Same here. Well done. Quick look at the item builds before we go back into the studio. So Tony Liu here was the MVP of the last match. Unfortunately, that time Tucker didn't went that good. Swan. Yep, that jewel got picked by Raf, and he did now such a good job as he did in the last match. Rocco S here 0-0-14. That are beautiful supporter stats, and Ilohak 10-0-5. Yeah, clear ace, I would like to say. So back to us into the studio, and then we will prepare the third match.
Yeah, welcome.